Welcome to Toffee TV. It is the match preview, Leicester City versus Everton. I'm joined by Steve, Kelly. How do we put any kind of positive spin on this? Because this is literally
last chance salute.
It feels like it, doesn't it? It feels like after what we witnessed Thursday night at Goodison, this feels like this is the one, because of who we're playing, obviously. Yeah. This is the chance to control our own destiny.
Yeah, well we're currently a point ahead of them, but they've also got better goal for a difference of 2 points. So, yeah, it is a must-win for Everton. Not even, to me, a draw's not even good enough now. You've got to start putting the wins on the board, and these are probably in the same predicament as us. They've got to win as well, so...
Yeah, I mean, obviously, they're a point ahead of us.
Yeah.
The goal difference took a battering again for us.
Yeah.
These look like they are, even though it's only one game, coming from behind against Wolves. Probably took a lot of optimism from the Manchester City game, even though they got beat 3 in the second half. They played really well.
Yeah.
And they've got goals. And that's the only... I mean, I don't know how long I've had to say this. The only commodity that matters in football is goals. We've got a manager who doesn't really understand... I don't think he understands that at all. We've got a football club that certainly doesn't understand it, because none of them want to buy a striker. And when they did buy a striker last summer, it's a striker who had no proven goal record.
Yeah.
But it's the only commodity, it works.
Well, you look at Leicester the other night, obviously, when they played Leeds as well, they brought Vardy off the bench and brought Daka on and took Iheanacho off. The reality is all three of those players would be up front for Everton. And I just look at Everton. Last night in Newcastle, we brought Maupay on, and he's scored, one Premier League goal.
Yeah. Well, it's better
there's the difference for me.
Well, yeah, you got someone like Vardy. It's better to have a striker who knows how to score, but is getting a little bit older, than someone who just doesn't score.
Yeah.
Who's getting older. So, I mean, as you said, they've picked up 4 points in the last 2 games. Against I mean, Wolves aren't really a rival, they're out of it now, but certainly Leeds, that was a big point for them. They nearly lost it at the end, though, so they did look shaky at times. They're still not great defensively.
No.
I mean, that's, in truth, that's not a great asset for us, is it? Because you look at it and go, well, yeah, but we have...
Neither were Fulham.
No. But it hasn't suddenly become a huge game. It is a huge game. Yeah. And it is that last chance, isn't it? Because Everton aren't cut adrift. Let's not make it, let's not make it absolutely horrendous here. We're not cut adrift. They're only a point in front of us. Leeds are only a couple of points in front of us. Forest are obviously a couple of points above us as well. They're all average teams.
Yeah.
To me, the only difference is Forest look genuinely like they're fighting, and whether they've got quality or not, they're fighting. Everton, I don't think are fighting. I don't want to insult anyone at the football club or anything, but you don't look like you're fighting. No. You didn't look like you were fighting against Fulham. You didn't look like you were fighting against Palace, and you certainly didn't look like you were fighting against Newcastle. And that's what I think other teams have got. Leicester have got like the bit between the teeth a little bit. Forest, for all their lack of quality, they look like they're having a right go.
Yeah.
And Leeds are very similar to us, but they've got 2 more points than us. And that's the problem, isn't it? That's all that ultimately matters.
Problem for Everton at the moment, they haven't got no plan A and they haven't got no plan B.
No.
And the reality is that we went 1-0 down last night. Did we? I honestly thought the minute Newcastle scored, it was game over for me, because I just couldn't see Everton getting back into the game, because even when it was 0-0, we didn't create loads, we huffed and puffed, but there wasn't really anything for me like, we've been unlucky there, just the offside, that was it really. But where Leicester, if you look at their players in the final third, Maddison, Barnes, players like that, some of them will get, I imagine, big moves in the summer to better teams because of the quality. And yeah, it's going to be a real dogfight for Everton. Everton have just got to basically put in a performance like they did last season. But I'm sure Leicester fans will be saying exactly the same. They've got to put in a big performance. Yeah,
I think for Leicester, I think they'll really think this is their big chance to get out of it. If they get a win, they'll go to 32 points. If other games go their way over the weekend, or our way, let's get it right, our way. Our way over the weekend, then that could put them up to 16. But it would also put us up to 16th if we won. Do you know what I mean? That's but I think they'll really think this is the game.
Yeah.
Everton at home, form we're in, 1 win in 10. They'll be thinking this is the game.
And
our away performance awful. Beat one team, the team who bottom of the league, who are dreadful that we let beat us at Goodison Park.
No.
You know, one of the many days Frank Lampard should have been sacked. But that's the way they'll be thinking. And 1 win in 10 for us, you can see, you just mentioned there, when the goal went in against Newcastle, the confidence just drained out the side, because then suddenly they've got to do something they haven't done all season. And I think I don't want to go overboard about Dyche, about the situation he's found himself in is obviously the standard of the team is terrible. He didn't bring any players in. I'm not going to go overboard on him, but I think the one issue is he tried to install this mentality of winning games 1-0, and as soon as the opposition score, it becomes very, very difficult. We've only actually seen one game really being the Chelsea game where we've managed to come back in a game.
Yeah.
And I think that mentality of get the first goal and then hang on to it, that's what he's sort of gone with. And I don't know how he gets away from that. And the other mentality he's got sort of is, if the team do score, don't do anything. Don't let them get away from you. Which is, I understand that mentality, but it leads to games like Fulham and it leads to games like Newcastle where you don't make the first move because you're worried that it could open you up. And then you don't make a sub, and then Fulham and Newcastle, and you have to make a sub at 2 or 3-0. Yeah. And it's, if I was a player, I mean, listen, the Everton players have done this to themselves, so it's not like they can point fingers. But that is a very, very fine margin of saying we're going to win this 1-0 and we've got to score first. So many things have got to go your way. And when you're not putting the ball in the back of the net, like we're not, 25 goals all season. I mean, that is pathetic, isn't it? You know, we have had once in a while goal scorers who've done that on their own.
I know, I think I said it to you last night. It was like, I don't think this, you can nick it 1-0 works in the Premier League no more either. Because the reality is that there's, even bar us, most teams have actually got some good attacking players these days, and there's better coaches out there now who find ways to beat the 1-0. Well, I think we've done it twice under Dyche, haven't we? Leeds and Arsenal. And Arsenal, you could say that was the manager bounce day. Not the only one we've had, I think. But that's where I struggle with Everton. There's no plan B. And like last night, there was like, we sat on it till the 65th minute, and it kind of accepted that we were going to give another goal.
Well, Mopai was literally about to take his top off on the 70th minute. Yeah. 3 minutes later, he 3-0 down, and then he brings him on.
I know.
And that's what are you trying to do? Like, just another thing I'd take, just while I am throwing Sean Dyche under the bus is, like the Newcastle game, the amount of variation they had in their set pieces. We've got a guy in who's supposed to be for the fine margins and find the ways. And for the first few games with the far post, the back post corner, and it was working. And then everyone got onto it. And
well, he kept doing it, didn't he, last night? But like you said, it's set pieces are a huge part of the game, and for some reason we just don't. We can't defend them and can't attack them, so it leads to failure in the end. And like I said, this game on Monday night is. Yeah, I think it is probably the biggest game in a long time, mate, and all for all the wrong reasons, really.
Well, it is pathetic, though, Steve, isn't it, that we're here again. Yeah. You know, I was looking around me last night. There's a kid and he sits behind me, but I was sitting in the row behind last night because I was sitting next to my missus against Newcastle. Lad Charlie. I was thinking, he's like 12, 13. Yeah. I'm looking at him and I'm going, this kid's got to go through this again. Kids of his age who support Liverpool will have been to Champions League finals and have seen trophies. This kid's having to go through it again. And I know I wasn't quite. I was a little bit older when I was, when I did it myself in the 90s. I was like, what are you doing to your family? What are you? This kid, like a lot of kids, like when you take your lad, Baz with his lad. These kids are the future of our football club, and this is what we're putting them through. And I know, I know it's a side subject and stuff, but it's just like it. it winds me up so much, and to see the position we're in, and see what the fans did before the Newcastle game again, and what they did, you know, in the ground, outside the ground. For the players, the same players, by the way, who were to bring your blue flares. You know me. Any chance of bringing a pair of footy boots with you? Any chance of turning up for one game?
Yeah.
And I'm putting it in.
And I think we've seen today, haven't we? It's got to the point now where I think a lot of groups and a lot of fans have just basically said it's down to the players. Now there's not. We've done our bit.
What can we do?
Yeah, we've tried. And I heard the comments someone said to me this morning. They were like, the fans are just tired. And they are. It's a tired fan base. And you saw that at the end last night as well, with the lack of people even in the ground at 4-1. And
well, at 3-0.
At 3-0, they were starting to...
At 3-0, loads got off.
Yeah.
And
it is getting to that point now. Can you blame them?
No, I can't blame them, but I just wonder how many of those people were the same people who give daggers to people when they walked out on the 100% minutes against Arsenal, mate.
100%.
That's what annoys me.
Yeah.
That's what annoys me.
No, I agree with that as well.
That's what annoys me.
I just think it's a very, very tired club now.
But the thing is,
and
I'm not going to get on my soapbox too much, but then put your energies into trying to do something positive, like, you know, next game, join the march or something then. If that's what you want to do, come and do something positive. Show your anger through numbers then. Next game. How about doing that for anyone who got off at 3-0? And by the way, I'm not judging you when I get off at 3-0. That's up to you.
Yeah.
Like, I stay to the bitter end because it's my job. And I've always done that. But show this football club that we're not prepared to take this. Don't just slink off into the night. Because my worry is that if we do go down, people just decide, no, we'll jack it in. Because you get that feeling, like, I hope it doesn't, because we're the only ones who can keep this club going. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
But back to the game. Leicester have got... let's have a look at Leicester's team. This is from the Leeds game. You know, the front line, Barnes, Iheanacho.
Even the two midfielders.
Maddison, Tielemans. Tielemans has dropped off because they shouldn't have kept him.
Scored a cracker the other night. He was unlucky with the VAR.
Vardy comes off the bench.
Yeah.
They've brought the fella from Shrek back into centre-back. Soyuncu, who's leaving it. Apparently, he's going to Atletico Madrid, isn't he? Incredible. They've obviously changed the goalie because the hologram just wasn't working. That's been a major point as well. But
the worry is the wide areas for me.
Yeah.
Like, because of our full-backs, and depending who's playing full-back at the weekend.
Which centre-back?
Which centre-back will play a full-back, even though we've got a right-back on the bench, Sean Dyche. Barnes...
Sean Dyche can't play right-back.
Yeah, well, I don't know. You might want to teach players to play right-back. Yeah. But they've got Barnes, who I think is a really good player, Harvey Barnes, on his day. And they've got Maddison, who just floats around the pitch as well. So, and obviously Tete on the right, who scored a few goals since coming in. So, like I said, from last night, my worry are full-backs, because I thought...
Why not play a right-back at right-back?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, why not show...
Teams are targeting us at full-backs.
Godfrey against Newcastle, Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ.
Mikalenko wasn't...
No, Mikalenko's terrible. Let's get it right. Listen, never am I prepared to pussyfoot, but Jesus Christ, the left-back is abysmal.
He's terrible.
And you play... listen, by the way, I'm not sitting here saying Patterson's the best player in the world, but what he is an actual right-back.
Yeah.
He's an actual right-back who is going to have to learn the position. Ben Godfrey can't play. I prefer him at left-back because he has to concentrate and he does a job. But right-back, Jesus Christ. I
think he said after the game, Coleman's...
He said Seamus is not far away. But whether that's enough. Seamus looked like... There was a shot of him in the stand last night and he looked like he wanted to get out there. So, let's hope he is.
Let's be honest, he's been our best player this season.
Oh, yes.
He's 34?
Let's just have a look at the Everton team from the Newcastle game. Yeah, straight away, Godfrey out, Keane out. Personally, I'd bring in Mina, but you think...
I think he'll go Cody Monday.
Yeah.
As bad as just before Keane come in, Cody had a few rough games, didn't he? But I looked at the team last night, it was just devoid of anyone on the pitch shouting at people.
It's devoid of anything, though, isn't it? You know what I mean?
And that's the only reason I bring Cody back.
Is there any other changes you'd make? Because
like you said, Patterson right back, Cody in for Keane, and I'd probably take Onana out, you know. I wasn't...
For Garner, Jamie Garner.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was crap last night, wasn't he? Cheerleader.
I just think the minute you get to booking, you might as well take him off.
Do you know what, though? Do you know what I'd be tempted to do? Genuinely. I'd be tempted to put a Wobie in the middle and put Gary out wide. And as much as...
That is attacking for sure.
As much as I'm not a massive favourite of either, that's what I'd be tempted to do. I'd be tempted to put a Wobie in there and just be a little bit more attacking.
Yeah.
Because this is the major downfall of Sean Dyche. And it's not his fault, by the way.
No.
The tools he's got are absolutely abysmal. And he has been dealt a terrible hand. But at some point we're gonna have to climb. We are gonna have to climb. It should have been.
You said it, didn't you, the other day?
Well, it should have been Palace.
Yeah.
After an hour, we should have gone for it.
Yeah.
You can't. Draws aren't going to do any. I know it's. I understand the prince. I listen to him and I understand what he's saying. I get.
His principles are right.
I get what he's saying.
Yeah.
It's no. There's no point throwing it all out there all at once. No. But surely he's seen enough of this Everton team now to go. I might as well, because before you know it, put it this way, we've had more. We've had. Look how many goals we've conceded under Sean Dyche. Being relatively conservative. Shocking, absolutely shocking. 7
in the last 2 home games, isn't it?
Let's have a look at Leicester's main man, James Maddison. He'll get a big move in the summer. 25 games, 9 goals, 7 assists.
I think he'll end up
2.4 key passes per game. He's a top player. He's got a top 10. He's a really good player. He'll probably end up at somewhere like Newcastle.
I think if Rodgers went to Spurs, maybe. Spurs. But
maybe he's what Spurs need. He's what a lot of teams need.
But Newcastle's a shot.
He opens opposition up. He's a good runner. We had an opportunity to get him obviously from Norwich, and we already had Gylfi Sigurdsson, so they felt it was
good move.
Wasn't the right move. And he went to Leicester. He's been great, and I think he's ready for the next big thing now. And he could be the key. He could be the key. When you look at him and you look at the other attacking options, it's just again, it's that thing of like if they could get their defence right, like Villa did, like Newcastle did. They've got the attacking options, and it's when you look at those things and think they're ready for like if they could just get the back line sorted, they could be ready. But it's going to be difficult. But it's a tough, very very tough game. I'm not hopeful. You know what? I just want to see an Everton team playing up for once. And you know if we lose games, or whatever, or the opposition's better, or the other team, I can hold my hands up and go, it's just a lack of quality. What I can't deal with is players just throwing their hand in and just running around.
I think that's something I was saying to my dad last night. Actually, that's something I saw during the crap times in the 90s. Yeah. The players actually looked like they cared a bit more than this crop of players. Like last night, I was looking around, I was thinking, there's just no belief in this side at all, and no one's running around. You know what? Did we even like just boost one of their players because going volume or something? There was none of that. Like it just, I think Garner was, actually, just a Garner game for me was the only one who could actually walk away last night with a bit of...
I mean, walking's the correct word because
he was knackered though. He did put effort into it. To be fair,
I'm not going to have a go at Garner.
No, I think he's
one of the only players who's been consistent all season, whether people agree or not.
I agree. So,
there you go. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. It's a huge game. But I'm not going to go overboard about it because the simple fact is I don't want to pile pressure on these precious little footballers who don't seem to be able to deal with it. I'm past. If there was any part of me that was sympathetic to them, it's past it. The Newcastle game, everything was set up for them to just work hard and run round, and they didn't. They were pathetic. So there you go. If you want to hear more about that,
surprise us, Everton.
Check out the final word from the Newcastle game. There you go. Thank you for watching. Make sure to give this video a like, subscribe if you haven't already for more great videos. Join us over on Toffee TV Premier. The link is in the description. It's come up on the screen right now. Bye.